Hey guys, in the 7th part of this Harnessing AI to Become a DevOps Pro series, I will learn about monitoring and logging. I have mentioned earlier in the series that I have some servers running already, and to keep track of this I mostly use a built-in service from DigitalOcean. But in this video I will try to find out if there are any better alternatives and hopefully be able to set up something using Docker as well. According to Clio, the most popular tools out there are Prometheus, Grafana and Splunk. I have not heard about any of these, so all of this will be brand new to me. What is monitoring and logging used for? Since this is sort of new territory to me, I will just begin by asking for a simple explanation for what this topic is all about. I want to learn more about DevOps, and right now I want you to explain a little bit to me about monitoring and logging. Let's try again. Same question. Sure, monitoring and logging are crucial components of DevOps practices. It helps the team ensure reliability, performance, and security of their applications and infrastructure. Here's a brief overview of each. So, the purpose of monitoring is involving continuously observing systems, application, and infrastructure to make sure that they are running smoothly. So it helps identifying issues before they impact users. So you can monitor infrastructure, application performance, the network, and security. Common tools, like I said earlier, Prometheus, Grafana, but also other there. And the benefits of doing monitoring is that it's sort of a proactive way to detect problems, performance optimization, and ensuring that you have high availability on your services. So it's a very important topic for a DevOps. And logging, based on what I think, is that when you are monitoring, you sort of log what you are monitoring, but yeah. You record events and messages generated by applications and systems. So logs provide a detailed record of what happened in the system, so it makes it easier to troubleshoot and audit. So you can either log the application, the system, or when people access your application. Tools here are Splunk, Elasticsearch, FluentD, Graylog. And the benefits of this is that it gives you insights for the system behavior. It makes it easier to debug, to find errors and similar. So with integration in DevOps, monitoring and logging provide continuous feedback to development and operations team, enabling them to make informed decisions and quickly address issues. And then monitoring and logging tools can trigger automated responses, such as scaling. So I guess that if there are little resources left on your servers, you can use automation to scale the servers or just alert an engineer. Okay, so I think this was a good short intro to monitoring and logging. So I like that when I ask questions like this, I get an explanation, common tools, benefits, etc. So it's a great way to summarize topics. And now that I have learned a little bit more about the fundamentals, I want to see if we can get some hands-on experience. So I want to try to divide this video into two separate parts, one for monitoring and one for logging. Can you come up with a simple hands-on task that can be used to get an introduction to monitoring? Preferably something with Docker, since we have already learned a little bit about Docker previously in this series. Okay, yeah, let's try to do this task. Here's a simple hands-on task to get you started with monitoring using Docker. We'll be using Prometheus and Grafana, two open source tools. Okay, so Docker and Docker Compose is installed. I just need to start Docker Desktop. So yeah, I've done some tests already, just FYI. Anyways, create a Docker Compose file and create the document Okay, so create a Docker Compose file. Create a file called Docker Compose.yml, and they will define the services for this. Okay, so I just need to go to another tab here, mkdir Clio monitoring, cd Clio monitoring, and then I just say vi and Docker Compose.yml. Actually, I think I should open this in Visual Studio Code to make it a little bit easier. So in here, I create a new file, docker-compose.yml, and I can get the contents from this directly from here. So let me just copy this, paste, and here we can see that we have two services, Prometheus and Grafana, and a node exporter. I guess this just shows some of this data in the front end are similar. So we can save this now and go back to the guide. Create a Prometheus configuration file, create a Prometheus.yml, and then we want this there. Okay, Prometheus.yml, and copy this and paste it in there, just fix the indentation. Then start the services, so copy this command and go in here. So this can take a little while, so just let me go back here and read access Prometheus. Okay, so you just have to wait until it's finished. Everything seems to be okay. If I go to Docker desktop, you can see here Clio monitoring is running. Great. I can go back to the guide and see that I can open up this URL in the browser. So here we see that. Great. Receive Prometheus UI. You can explore available metrics by clicking on the graph. I guess I don't have anything here, but at least it is working. Now we can open up Grafana as well. I need to log in now, and I just saw somewhere that I can use the credentials admin/admin. That's sort of a default. Okay, so then I'm logged in there. So add Prometheus as a data source in Grafana. So go to configuration, data source, and add data source. Configuration. Can't see anything that's called maybe here. No. Discard. Okay, here's anyway. Here is add your first data source, and I want to use Prometheus. Use the default URL Prometheus:1990. Yeah, just go. Then we can click save and test. Successfully queried. Great. Next step then is to create a simple dashboard. So we can probably click this one. Import or add new panel. That's probably add library panel. No, nothing there. Add visualization. Prometheus. Okay, so we can't see anything there yet. Let's try this one. Job, node exporter, run queries, and yes, then we see some sort of data in here. Okay, so now I have some sort of monitoring, and to be honest, I'm not quite sure what we actually are monitoring, but yeah, it is running now, and that's the most important part right now. Now we visualize this experiment with the, so I guess I could try different things here if I wanted to do that. Yeah, now you can see multiple things here. I can zoom in. So this red one goes up and there, blue goes up and down. So yeah, it looks like Grafana and Prometheus is now working. Instead of just doing too much of this monitoring, we can now jump to logging and see if we can get that working. Can we, or can you build on this example and help me implement some sort of simple logging. Okay, so then I got a new hands-on task here. Extend the Docker Compose, so update it to include Elasticsearch, Logstash and Kibana services. To make it easy, I just copy everything, go back to Visual Studio Code and paste everything in here and save. Then we need to also create a Logstash configuration file. So let's create a new file called logstash.conf. And that should contain this little code here that looks like it just points to this port, and the host is Elasticsearch. Add a sample application with logging. For simplicity, let's assume that you have a Node.js application that logs messages. You can use a logging service like Winston to send logs to Logstash. Not sure if it will just work to copy this. Can you help me with step 3? Yeah, okay, so then it got a little bit more complicated, but it looks more complete now. So let's create this one now. Yeah, we can begin by creating a new folder called node app, node-app, and in here we initialize. So let's do that. cd node app. Okay, nvm use 20. I need to use a newer version of Node. So now it's initialized. Now we need to install Express, which is a web server, and Winston. Okay, and then we create a new file called app.js where all of this should go in. App.js, and paste everything and save. So then we need to dockerize this application as well. So let's copy this, create a Docker file in the same directory as the content. So in here, Docker file. So that's now separated from this Docker Compose down here. And then update Docker Compose. Okay, let's update it one more time. So we just follow the guide. I think it's identical to what I just did, but let's save it like that. Oops, this should be indented like that. Then we can get this up and running. Not here, do not want to get help to do this. So here, go up one step and paste the command. So I think this now actually includes the Node application. Great. Okay, so there's already something running on port 3000. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe it actually is just Grafana. So I should probably use the Node app. Yeah, I think it's the Node apps that is the problem. If we change this to 3002, expose 3000, but we want to expose that to 3000, and then 3002 goes into 3000 like that. Let's try one more time. Yeah, I think that was working. Localhost 3002. Hello world, great. So that means everything up until now is working. So the application is there, yeah. You can view the logs and Kibana here. Loading Elastic. So, okay, start by adding your own data. Maybe I should find Kibana metrics. Let's create an index pattern. Okay. How do I do that? add integration, Kibana logs, doesn't look, some index, I'm going to try to create an index pattern anyways. Clio, no. File beat, nothing, okay. Kibana, no. Clio, no. No, I don't think there is anything. Can you help me with adding is now set up to log messages using Winston and send them to Logstash. So maybe what I should add here is Logstash, maybe. Nothing is called that. Maybe if I search for that, Logstash, no. Okay, let's try asking. The index patterns is empty. How do I find logs inside? And this is then elastic. Just wondering if I go to localhost 3000, what can I see here? Create dashboard and visualization. Can I see something more here now? Node, CPU seconds, 1. Run queries. Okay, so this ends at 940. So if I try to do something here now, nothing happens there. So there are no live data there. Check logs. Yeah, just copy that for you. Okay, so let's go and try to find the create index patterns again. Search node. No. There is nothing. Okay, let's try to visit this here. Or we can just do a copy of this. Open up a new window. So 5044 is not up and running. Says server not running. Or could not connect to server. Okay, so Logstash might not be correctly running. Let's open up here. Logstash has exited. Okay. Let's copy this here. Paste it in here. See what she has to say about that. Okay, yeah, it's not always easy to understand or get the help you actually need from Clio or AI. So I just think I'm going to leave it at this right now and try again later, because sometimes it helps restarting this. Anyways, in this part we started out by learning a bit more about what monitoring and logging means to a DevOps. After that we had some hands-on experience with both monitoring and logging, even though it didn't work as expected. So it's nice to see how we can use Docker, which we already learned about previously in this series, and it's nice. And since I already had learned a little bit, I understood everything in the Docker scripts, where to put the files, etc. In the next and last part of the series, we will learn about security. See you in the next video.